जय हिंद बच्चों, मैं आनंद चौहान पाथफाइंडर डिफेंस एकेडमी के ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल पर स्वागत करता हूं। आज आप सभी के बीच में हम आपको एक मॉक इंटरव्यू लेकर के आ रहे हैं। कर्नल प्रवीण श्रीवास्तव सर हैं जो इंटरव्यू ऑफिसर हैं यहाँ पर, और उनके साथ में आज आपकी मुलाकात होगी अभिषेक मिश्रा से, जिन्होंने एफकैट क्वालिफाई किया है। तो आप प्रॉपर तरीके से पूरा इंटरव्यू जो है देखें और देखें किस तरीके से इंटरव्यू एसएसबी बोर्ड में होते हैं बेटा। ओके बच्चा।
Okay, Abhishek. I hope you are comfortable in the selection center.
Yes, sir.
Good. Any problems?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm happy. Okay, Abhishek. Now tell me, you belong to Lucknow.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me some importance of Lucknow in terms of history and otherwise also?
Yes, sir. Lucknow is a city of Nawabs and it is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. And currently there is a government of Bharatiya Janata Party, which is led by our Honorable Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ji. And the famous places in Lucknow are like Hazratganj, Chota Imam Bara, Bada Imam Bara, and Gomti River front. All these things are the places that one should visit when they come to Lucknow.
Any other thing which you feel from the point of view of tourism or from the point of view of history,
Yes, sir.
you can elaborate us?
Yes, sir. UP, Uttar Pradesh is a state which has for maximum population in the country, and it was earlier it was ruled by the Nawabs who were ruling a particular state, and they tried to give us the culture with which we always have a very respectful culture in our particular state. We do not, and we are known, people of Lucknow are known for their welcoming and hospitality, and that's what the best thing about Lucknow is.
Okay, Abhishek, it seems you have not heard or understood my question clearly. My question is, again I am repeating, from the point of view of tourism and history,
Yes, sir.
what is the importance of Lucknow? Can you elaborate?
Currently, Lucknow is a place where people can come to visit, like there is historical monuments, and currently the government is working on different platforms where we can have, like there is a Mishra Park is there where people can come, and currently there is a Asia's largest mall is being constructed in Lucknow, that is Lulu Mall, and these all things are and now currently Ayodhya, which is going to be a very good place for tourism, because people from all over the world will be coming, and there are the different infrastructures that are made to make it possible so that the international airport is also being given to that particular place. This will increase the tourism in our country, as well as it will help us to grow, because we'll be having
Okay, tell us something about the retreats and other places where one can visit in Lucknow. You must have visited many of them. Some places of visit in Lucknow, as well as places where you can eat or enjoy your food.
Sir, currently the most popular place for having snacks is 10 Chauraha. That is very popular in Lucknow. Where we can find all the Chinese foods, as well as different type of kebabs and rolls. And most famous place for in Lucknow for having a good meal is Gunde Kababi. That is very popular. And it is very profound in, there are many chains, but the main one that is in Aminabad, that is very popular. And it is actually, they are exporting their goods also to other countries also. There are.
I have heard about Hazratganj also, and the cantonment.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me something about that?
Yes, sir. Hazratganj is a place where in Lucknow that is very, very busy. It is most popular, and there you can find from anything from A to Z, whichever you whichever you need, you can get that thing at the reasonable rates and prices, as well as with all the facilities available. There are the charts are also famous there, and there is a particular chicken shop also of Moti Lals. They are very popular, and chicken Lucknow is also known for chicken's clothing. So that is a specialty of
Chicken, yeah, correct. Chicken clothes.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, Abhishek. Now, tell me something about yourself and other details of your family.
My name is Abhishek Mishra. I'm from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. My father was an army person. Now he's retired. His name is A.K. Mishra. My mother's name is Shashi Mishra. She is a homemaker, and I'm the only child of my parents. As far as my school is concerned, I have completed my high school from Army Public School, Lucknow, SP Mart. And then after that, my father got transferred to Secunderabad. Then I completed my intermediate from Telangana Board of Intermediate Education with the stream of biology. And there I have scored 92 percentage. And then after that, I have done my graduation in Bachelor's in Business Administration from Chandigarh University. And currently I am pursuing my Masters in Business Administration from Babu Banarsidas University. And my sports, I love basketball, and I've represented my school as well as my university. And I have very much interest in watching football matches as well as cricket too. And I do like listening to music, as well as I do write sometimes in my own time. And as I am a very profound, very much fond of sports, and I have represented netball, my university at All India University level for netball also. There we have got, we were not got any position, but we were later on, we got the participation. That was a great experience. And as far as the fondness of sports is important, I like Cristiano Ronaldo in football. He is a great personality, and with his career graph, one can learn is that determination and hard work always pays off. That makes me more fond of that particular person. And in field of cricket, I like Virat Kohli. He is currently my favorite player. As well as in basketball, that is the sports that I play. In that, I like Stephen Curry. He represents Warriors football basketball club, and which is a club of San Francisco.
Okay, good. About the sports activities, Abhishek. But you haven't said anything about your extracurricular activities or hobbies. Can you tell me something about that?
Yes, sir. I was always very curious to participate in as many competitions I could in school days. I represented my house. In our school, there are houses divided, and so in that house, I participated in English play, and as well as I represented our competition in extempore, and as well as evaluations of elocutions of Hindi and English as well. In those all the competitions, I scored first rank in play as well as elocution, and in the extempore, I got the runner-up position in the school.
Did you ever take part in the NCC at any stage?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, now Abhishek, tell me one thing.
Yes, sir.
Your father is an ex-army personnel.
Yes, sir.
You have studied in Army Public School.
Yes, sir.
But I find that you have applied for the commission in the Air Force AFCAT.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason for going for the Air Force? Why not Army?
Sir, as I'm done my graduation, currently I'm looking for a settlement, and defense is one of the factors that influenced my life a lot, because my father was in defense, and I'm appearing for as Army as well as Air Force, both the exams. So I got the opportunity to be in the selection board of Air Force at first. So this is my priority at the moment, and that's why I have prepared for the Air Force selection.
But don't you feel that probably Army would have been better for you, because you might be knowing that there is something called as the parental fame,
Yes, sir.
as well as familiarization with the Army life.
Yes, sir.
Will you be comfortable in Air Force?
Yes, sir. That's what the thing is. In Army, we have learned that we need to adapt with every situation. and it will be just a new experience, and adapting is going to be there. It's not something that will be a very difficult thing. Yeah, you are also right that I would have been a better opportunity in Army also, but currently I have not got the chance there. But so far as Air Force is
okay, fine. I can appreciate that. Since when you developed this liking for the Air Force? Was it from the childhood, or later on after joining the school or something? What was the reason behind this?
While I was doing my graduation, that was the moment I got motivated to give an attempt or a try for defense services. And that was the time I was doing management course. So I got to learn that that would be a little bit helpful for me in Air Force in logistics and supply chain.
Okay.
That was the
how familiar you are with the Air Force organization, its functioning and its role?
not much, but I know a little bit about it.
Okay. So can you tell me which are the branches in Air Force dealing with different parts? Just give me a brief on Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Whatever knowledge you have.
Indian Air Force, Navam is Parsam Deeptam is the slogan of Indian Air Force, and it is one of the defense forces that is maintaining the integrity as the sovereignty of our nation, and it is a very crucial part in our defense system. And currently, if we talk about the fields that are there, there is a flying branch, then there is a technical staff, as well as there is a logistics as well as administration, as far as my knowledge. In these different kind of fields, different people with different qualifications are eligible for it, and those who are eligible, they can.
Okay, so that means you are familiar with the Air Force organization. Which branch you wish to join if you are selected?
So my preference is logistics and administration.
Logistics and administration.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are the reasons? Can you justify that? Why not flying or why not technical?
For flying, I am not eligible because I didn't have mathematics in my standard.
Okay.
That is the reason that strikes out the opportunity of being a pilot.
Okay.
Then after that, logistics and administration, because I am a student of management, so that would be a little bit helpful for me as I am aware about the principles that can be applied, as well as logistics. I was subject of supply chain management in my bachelor's, as well as I am dealing with that particular subject in my master's also. So these two of my some prior knowledge will be helpful for me. That's why I prefer these two options.
Okay. Can you tell me about the rank structure of the officers in the Indian Air Force, right from starting to the highest rank?
Yes, sir. I might be a little confused, but I can try. The first one is flying officer, then flight lieutenant, squadron leader, wing commander, group captain, air commodore, then there is a air vice marshal, air chief marshal.
Okay. So generally you have an idea.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Abhishek, I have seen your the IQ form which you have mentioned about your complete academic activities.
Sir.
I find that in 11th and 12th you had biology, you were having a science background,
Yes, sir.
and then you shifted to BBA from
Yes, sir.
Chandigarh University.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And then after that you did your MBA, yeah, or rather you are still doing your MBA from Lucknow. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are you aiming to? What for you have thought of going which field? Because Air Force is one,
Yes, sir.
your biology is one in PCB,
Yes, sir.
then you're switching to BBA
Yes, sir.
and then going to MBA, that is fine.
Yes, sir.
And then again reverting to the Air Force.
Yes, sir.
What are you actually aiming to do in life?
Sir, as a normal individual, I want to have a good job as well. But there was my father who was was very adamant about that I should be doing my 12th from the science background. That was the purpose. And I was a little weak in mathematics. That's why the option of choosing PCM was not there. That's why I went for the biology. Exploring it as a future and my profession was a little bit too of asking from my own self. That's why I convinced after that my intermediate, my father, that I should be going rather than with the thing that I want to do, rather than going for the things that will be little tough for me.
Okay, fine. I agree. But the point remains the same that in 12th you got such a good percentage with the biology. Did you not try for the medical entrance exams?
No sir, I did.
Okay, fine. After that, you changed your line completely. You went for the management courses. First you did BBA, then you went for the MBA.
Yes sir.
Now, obviously, then one thinks that you are planning to join some private sector and go for some lucrative job and join the private sector.
Yes sir.
But this shift up, while doing this MBA itself,
Yes sir.
you have thought of joining Air Force.
Yes sir.
And why did you not think earlier on this? Even if you were not, as you said, you were forced by your parents or father that you should do biology. Fine, think that you did it.
Yes.
And you scored so well. So you have that bent of mind. Why you did not appear in NDA, or why you did not go for the Air Force different examinations, and instead you went for the BBA and MBA? So is there any reason for that?
Yes sir. NDA, that maths is a primary requirement.
Okay.
I didn't have mathematics in my 12th standard, so that removed my eligibility for appearing in NDA. And the first option that I could get was after graduation, in which I could go for AFCAT and CDS entries. And after that, after completing my graduation, I appeared in the exams, and currently I got qualified for this. And during the graduation period of time, I was looking, as I was doing bachelor's in business administration, it is obvious that that people will consider that I'm looking for the cooperative sector. So that's one of the options. But having a defense background, that motivated me to just look for the job in the defense forces, and that's the earliest opportunity that I could get, and I attempted for it, and I got cleared my written, and currently I'm appearing for the selection.
Okay, fine. Your point taken. But it still remains. How is this BBA and MBA going to help the Indian Air Force if you are selected? How, in what way you will contribute to the Air Force?
Yes, sir. So as I have already told that I am preferring two branches, that is logistics and administration. And in my bachelor's as well as in master's, I am taught those particular subjects to some extent. So that will be a little bit helpful for me to do my job in Air Force far better than what I'll be able to do with some other background.
Okay. Can you tell me a few functions of the logistics and admin branch of the Indian Air Force?
Yes sir.
Are you aware of it?
Yes sir, I am.
Okay, please explain.
In logistics, the primary thing is to providing the natural raw materials as well as resources to the places where it is very tough to provide, and making it sure there is never a shortage as well as less wastage, and we are able to transfer things from one place to another in a short period of time with less of bit of a distraction. I can tell you by an example. For example, we have to supply the food grains and other resources to a high altitude area like Siachen or Lake. So in winter time there is a problem of flights cannot fly with a normal atmosphere or weather conditions, due to weather conditions. So for that we need to prepare our we have to evaluate how many individuals are there serving, and according to that we need to study our previous trends as well as estimate future requirements, then provide that particular platform and schedule a plan through which we can procure all those raw materials and make it store them in a place so that there is no problem when we are in a landlocked situation due to the weather conditions of snowfall and all. So that will be one of the logistics field that needs to take care of. And in administration, it is all about management. Management is applied in our day-to-day life. If every individual task is done effectively and efficiently, there is the management required. So in administration, that would be helpful.
Okay, good. You have some knowledge of this Air Force management. But can you tell me about the Siachen Glacier you just mentioned?
Yes, sir.
The specific administrative arrangement in terms of the weather and the supplies,
Yes, sir.
and that to airdrop.
Yes, sir.
What are the points one has to keep in mind when you have to act as administrative head or the logistic head, when you have to supply complete ration and other stores to the Siachen Glacier area, which is only can be dropped by air, heli dropping?
Yes, sir.
Or air dropping.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what all are supposed to be done and how it is done?
Well, we are transporting natural resources and rations and food groceries to the high altitude areas. There we need to make sure, as there is a great drop. So first of all, we need to make sure that we are providing them in those materials in that particular place in the normal situation, so that there is no tough situation of snowfall and all, which hinders the flights and creates a problem. That should be our first motive. And when we are doing it, then while packaging, we need to make sure that there is a proper safety sponges and all other things are used, so that there is no, while we are airdropping those things, that the damage is less. And when we are receiving it at the particular location, there should be a plant or something like of a very like we using paragliding, that there are different kind of sponge things. We drop it and they suddenly gradually reduce their jumps, and it doesn't fall at one time and it takes time. But by that we can do that. That's what
Okay, what are the precautions one has to take, especially in such airdrops in the Siachen Glacier area or some remote area,
Yes, sir.
not easily accessible?
It's a very precise job. One has to be very good at it. And while we are looking for it, we need to make sure that while we are dropping, the situation, the place where we are dropping, that should be clear of humans. It should not have any particular roaming air in there. We need to make sure, and the parameters should be enclosed so that no other person are coming and going out, because that could cause casualties. And there is a proper particular height that should be decided, and the people with the greater proficiency in flying the flights should be alerted to the job.
Okay. Abhishek, let us presume that you are in charge of the logistic department of the Air Force, which is catering for supplies to the Siachen Glacier and Leh area.
Yes, sir.
And it so happens that because of the bad weather conditions and continuous bad weather, the airdrop of the supplies is not possible for the next 15 days.
Yes, sir.
And even whatever reserves the troops they have there,
Yes,
it is only for just about that period of time.
Yes, sir.
Now, how are you going to deal with this situation?
So it's a very
It happens,
Fortunate
you know very
situation.
well.
Yes, sir.
It happens that sometime because of the landslide or other reasons, the snow fall, the entire region is blocked. Is not even a chopper can fly in that.
Yes, sir.
So how do you maintain the supplies in such cases, in such situation?
First of all, while focusing on, if we are aware about the situations and geographical dimensions of Siachen, we should have at least a reserve that could last for around 45 days. First, that should be the priority. If that is not possible, then it is very tough to transfer because there is a bad weather condition, and then we can make sure that there is no wastage. Second, that we can procure for that particular period of time, as you mentioned, it is just for 15 days. We can make sure that we are able to achieve it from the nearest location that we could, if that is possible. That can be from the local civil markets also.
now you have understood it correctly. Probably earlier you could not understand my question properly.
Yes.
My question was that all the troops which are there,
Yes.
they know that they have got some reserve rations.
Yes.
And obviously they are keeping that as a reserve.
Yes.
But the situation turns so hostile that even their those reserve ration is also exhausted, and they are only dependent on air supply through you. So what actions you will take to ensure that they are able to maintain their daily rations and something to eat?
Yes, sir.
So you said that one of the options can be
Procuring it from the
see from there is no local market in Glacier. I hope you know that Glacier is a totally
Nearest possible.
uninhabited area and where there is only snow.
Yes, sir.
So there is nothing available there. Everything is supplied through the air.
Yes, sir.
It is air maintained.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that case, if even the air supply is not there, how will you expect people to survive there? What can be the alternative for this?
So we can procure it like the nearest possible position through where we can.
That is one option.
Yes, sir.
But let us presume that there is no nearest position. Or even if there is a nearest position, it also is exhausted its ration. After all, that is also dependent on air supply.
Yes, sir.
So, what do you do?
Sir, sorry, sir.
Okay. There are many options. It's by food, by giving them extra other type of liquids and things which can sustain them for some time. Never mind. Once you join it, then you will come to know about it. The extra emergency, it is called as extra emergency ration, which is to cater for such emergencies. So that is why they are able to maintain that supply system. Okay. Okay. Now coming to the main issue, that is, let us say that you have joined the Air Force and you have joined training. You find that you are not able to cope up with the training because, as everybody knows, that the training in academies is little harsh and tough, and you never expected that you will have a tough time in terms of getting up early in the morning, no time for yourself, busy till late in the night, the training part, so many things are there. So, what will you do in that case? You find that it's very difficult.
Sir, it is normal that it is a tough and it is tough to cope up with the training, but that is not an option, sir. If I have decided that I am joining defense forces, I have taken those circumstances into consideration. And as I have been I've seen my father also working, so I've decided very well after knowing all the things. And coping up with it, that will be the only solution that I will.
You already have that thing in your mind.
Yes.
And maybe probably your father also might have been posted in some training establishment, so you have seen that.
Yes.
Like, good, fine. Okay. Now, who is your best friend?
My best friend is Saurabh Chaudhary, sir.
Right?
Sir, he's a person of different, whose personality was very different to me. He's a very calm person, but the thing is, with him is he's always there for me whenever I needed him, and supported me in many things, as well as he's always there if I need him without any excuses. That's the reason.
Okay. Between your father and mother,
Yes, sir.
on whom you trust more?
Trust more.
Yes.
I'm close to my father a lot, so my trust with my father is more.
Father is more.
Yes.
Okay. But let us say that your mother,
Yes.
you get selected in the Air Force. She says, no beta, don't go, you are my only child, and you better join some private sector, and she opposes your decision.
Yes, sir.
What will you do?
First of all, that's not a problem because as my family had a very big background of defense, not just my father, all uncles are also served.
That is all right. She has married her father, so she knows. But it may happen that you being the only child, in that case she may say that you join anything but don't join Air Force.
Also then the only way I have is to explain her that anything is possible in private sector also. If she is scared about some things, then it is not appropriate because in civil life also everything is at risk every day in civil life also. It's not mandatory. So rather than doing and being scared of something and surviving in a private sector, rather why not be brave and do something for the nation and serve the different services.
No, but unfortunately, somehow or other your mother is able to convince her father also, and he also says the same thing. What you will do?
I said, but I worked a lot for it. And
as much as you say that your father was interested in your doing something in 11th and 12th, and for his satisfaction you did that. And now the same father, he says to you, and he agrees with your mother and says don't join Air Force. What will you do? And you get selected for the Air Force. Will you join the training?
Yes sir, I will join it because when I was in 10th standard, I was very young, and at that time I didn't have to convince my parents. Currently I am working for it and they seen me working. If they had never stopped me while I was working for it, then they should have, if they had some problem with this thing, then they might have told me in the very beginning. And if now I'm selected and they are asking me to not drop that plan, that is not going to be possible. And now as I've grown up and there's a understanding of now friendship with my father. Earlier I was very young, so that time that communication was not that good because he was I was very young as he was posted in high altitudes where I was not living with him. After that I got to spend some time and I have grown up. Now he also listens to my opinions and what I have to do. So I have to talk them out of it, like please let me do it because I'm joining it, and if I have got selected, that is the best thing that I'm looking for. So I cannot give it up for any XYZ reasons.
Okay. Okay, Abhishek, tell me one thing. One day when you come back from somewhere in the market in the evening, and you enter your father's room, and he is taking rest on the bed, and you suddenly see that there is a snake which is a cobra. You deadly snake. It is going towards your father. What do you mean?
Sir, at first warned my father very calmly and then asked him to come out of the room. With him, I run out of the room with my father and close the door on my back. And after that, I'll inform the snakes catchers and ask them to catch that particular snakes.
No, but I'm sorry. It's happened that when you shouted to your father, the cobra got distracted, and in that process, he came and bit your father. So, what you will do now?
Sir, as we know that what to do after a snake bite is, I'll tie a very tight rope or a bandage above the portion which has been bitten by the snake, and after that I'll cut it, that particular area with a blade, with a very sanitized blade or clean blade to remove that poisonous blood, so that it reduces the intensity of the poison in the body and it doesn't transport in the whole body and eliminates it, and take my father to the nearest hospital where it is possible and get him the medical help.
You will not do anything for the cobra which has bitten?
Sir, I think after that my priority is taking my father to the best care. After that I can call of course to eradicate that particular thing from the house, catch snake catches.
Okay. Abhishek, tell me that you go for an adventure trip in the mountain. And there, it so happened that in your group of friends, one of the boy gets injured in the mountain, and the nearest hospital from the place where you are there is about 15 kilometers, and there is no transport there right now. What you will do?
Okay. First of all, as we are on the adventure trips, we'll be having some basic first aid helps. I'll try to provide that to my friend. Then after that, with the help of local people, if it's a very place where other people are also not possible, then with the help of the whole crew, we can carry him and reach to the location from where the transportation is possible, and call the ambulance and or take the help by the pass-bys or someone like that.
Now regarding the sports, you have mentioned that you play football. You play, isn't it?
I don't play football. I like football watching.
You like?
I played basketball and netball.
Basketball and
netball.
Okay. Who is your hero in football?
So my hero in football is Cristiano Ronaldo, Dos Santos Aguero.
Okay. And in basketball, which position you play?
I was a defender, sir.
Defender.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Abhishek. Thank you. I hope you are not having any problem.
No, sir.
If you have any problem, you can let me know.
No, sir.
You will be comfortable in the accommodation and the mess.
Yes, sir.
Food.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. As you all are seeing that in this mock interview for the person Abhishek we carried out, this was for the Air Force selection for which he had qualified in the AFCAT and was going for the service selection board after some time. Well, the aim of doing this mock interview was to ask certain questions in such a manner as to take out his true personality as well as to see whether he will be able to answer his questions there comfortably and do well in the interview, because interview is a very important part of the whole selection procedure. And what I have noticed and observed in Abhishek, that he is a smart, with a good personality and a soft-spoken person, and he is also having knowledge of everything, and he is confident in answering questions, but at the same time, when we had especially asked certain specific questions related to his academic achievements and his interest for joining the Indian Air Force rather than joining Indian Army, to me he appeared to be a little confused personality. Why I say confused personality? Because he is not clear about his career from the beginning. As you have seen that he had done his 10th and 12th in PCB, physics, chemistry and biology. His father had probably told him, because he was not good in maths in 10th, so his father thought that he will do well in this, and he did well. He scored very well. But it seems that he himself was not interested in that, and therefore, after doing his PCB, he went and joined BBA, which is again a divergent from his goal or ambition. If he had the goal for joining Air Force, then that should have started from right earnest. He should have started trying from class 12th itself when he was to appear in NDA. But he never appeared in NDA. And even after 12th, generally all the students decide about their career after 12th. He still seems to be not clear, and he went and did BBA and now he's doing MBA. And when I asked him very specifically that why are you thinking of joining Air Force now, he tried to tell me that he has a great liking for it. I must say that though his knowledge on the Air Force was very good, he could answer questions on that. He could also answer difficult questions. So it seems he came well prepared. But there are certain basic questions remain. If you have a desire, if you have an ambition, then you must follow it from the beginning itself. Then his reasons for joining Air Force were somehow not very convincing. Now we also see that he seems to be a little soft. When I say a little soft, it means that he is having a flexible mind. Because of that flexibility in his mind, he is not able to decide about his career, which should be done in the beginning itself. So, though he has a very good academic record, he has a very good personality, he is having overall personality suitable for any person to become an officer in the armed forces. But still, I feel that his ideas or concepts were not clear. He should make his ideas and concepts clear, because in the selection board, they ask very specific questions related to your profession. And especially if he is joining Air Force, they would be asking specific questions on that. And not only on Air Force, but also certain situations under which they have to undergo. But I think overall he did well, and he has, if he makes his mind a little more clear, then he has all the potentials of joining the forces and doing well in the forces. Thank you.